Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future. Thank you so much for coming out to another college and career conversations with Dr. B. As always, what I'd love for people to do as you come on, please let us know who's here. Where are you from? Why are you here? Do you have a child that is college bound or is thinking about it? So definitely let me know who is here. So before I bring on our guest, I want to do a few commercial breaks here just to let folks know about some upcoming events. So one of the events that I want to tell you about, let me see if we get this right. Okay. So the National Association for College Admission Counseling is having a series of virtual career fairs. We have one coming up on Sunday, April 3rd from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And for those of you who have participated in these virtual career fairs before, you know that you do not have to stay the entire time. Registration is free, and you have the opportunity to talk to admissions people if you choose to do so. So the next one, again, is coming up Sunday, April 3rd from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, another event that I want to tell you about, I had the opportunity to attend this event virtual last year. So let me make sure I get it fully up here on the screen. So this is the Women's E3 Virtual Summit. So that E3, as you can see on the screen, stands for Empowerment, Entrepreneurship, and Engagement. This is an event that is sponsored by the National Museum of African American History and Culture. This year, they're recognizing African American women in arts and culture. As I said, I attended last year's event virtually, and it was fantastic. It is on Thursday, March 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, probably Eastern Daylight Time now. Registration is free, so please make sure you do that. Here is just a few of the people that will be here, that will be there at that particular event. One of the people, the first person listed on there, Bissa Butler, is an amazing artist. I'm just going to quickly just show you her website. She creates portrait quilts that look like paintings. She is an amazing textile artist. So again, if you have a chance, go on to this site and you can have conversations or hear about these folks. And the neat thing is when you go on the site, you can also go and look at past speakers from 2020, 2019, and 2018. So make sure you do that. And the last thing I want to share with you this evening, I had the opportunity to go to our local arts museum that was having a function called Black Lit. And they had this young woman and her company as the main attraction. So this young woman is based in Texas, and she has a company called Black Lit. And one of the neat things that she has is our subscription boxes that come in a variety of topics. So again, she's appeared, Oprah Magazine. She's been in Oprah Magazine, Bloomberg, and a few other places. And again, she has different subscription boxes that you can subscribe to. So again, just a few things that I just wanted to make sure that I let you know about. So let me get myself back over here. Here we go. Okay, back here. I also want to remind people, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am trying to get my numbers up so that I can do some different things with my channel. So, you have to have so many subscribers before they let you do certain things. So this is my YouTube channel URL. Subscribe. That way you don't miss any of the college and career conversations because you will have them all there. And also my monthly newsletter. I'd love for people to subscribe to that. This is the URL to subscribe to the newsletter. You'll get information that will help you with your going back to school, your child's going back to school, or a child that is in your family. So folks, that is our commercial break for right now. And we're going to go to our short interlude. And when we come back, we will be on screen with our guest this evening, Tiffannie Jones. And we are back on screen. So I thank you for coming with us this evening on this little trip. So, Tiffannie, thank you so much for joining us this evening. What a pleasure to have you on.
Yes, thank you so much for the invitation. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So, folks, let me give you a little background on Tiffannie and who she is and what she does. But we're going to hear so much more from her. So, Tiffannie is the proud founder of the JCS project, Just College Students. They are a nonprofit organization that travels to HBCU campuses and passes out free college care packages. Isn't that amazing? Their boxes are stuffed with snacks, handwritten notes, words of encouragement, HBCU buttons, and stickers. They have a partnership with Whataburger. I have never been to Whataburger. I've got to get to one.
Ooh,
So they have a partnership with Whataburger that includes giving students meal vouchers, keychains, and lanyards. They also have a partnership with Chase Banks that includes students getting notepads and ink pens. They do this as a source of encouragement to remind students it's one thing to go to college, but we want you to finish. I love that so much. So,
thank
Tiffannie,
you.
again, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, again, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for reaching out to me and allowing me to be on your platform. I love things like this because it's like you get to meet someone new, you get to share things with me about what you do, and I get to share things about what I do. So thank you so much.
Right. So, Tiffannie, this is an idea. I always think of, people always come up with ideas. Oh, I'd love to do this. Here's a problem, and this is a way to solve it, or here's something that I see needs to be done. So let me be the one that reaches out and does this particular activity. How did you decide to do this?
So it all started when my little cousin went off to college. My mom called me and was like, "Hey, Tiffany, we're dropping Taylor off at Blend." And even though I went to her graduation, I dropped her off for her graduation party, so I know I was at that. It's like it wasn't until I got that phone call, "We're dropping Taylor off at Blend," and in my mind, I'm like, "Well, for what?" And like, cause she's in school. I'm like, "Yeah, but why are you dropping her off?" And they're like, "Because she goes to Blend, Tiffany." And it's like, it just hit me. I'm like, wait, this is my little cousin, my little baby cousin. You're just going to drop her off at Blend. And it just fell on me that I needed to support her. Even though she has parents and she has a full support system, it just weighed heavy on me that this was my little baby cousin going off to college and that she was going to need things, and I needed to be able to provide these things to her. And then I got to thinking, well, I mean, she's not my only cousin. I got a couple of more cousins and got some church members, and then some coworker kids. So like what started off as, me saying I was just gonna do something for these 10 girls, end up being a whole entire organization where it's led me to what I do now. But I mean the whole gist behind it was I just wanted to help my little baby cousin because she was going off to school.
That is so important because, especially when people are first generation going off to college, it's so important that
Yes.
people have a support system, an ongoing support system. I remember my mom used to, my favorite cake at one time was coconut cake. and my my mom used to, make sure that when I came home on the weekend, and I went to college in the same city where I live, so it wasn't that I was that far away, but I wasn't living at home. So
Hmm.
she always made sure she had a little packet for me of different items so I could take back to campus, things that I liked that most likely I couldn't find on campus. And that was her way of letting me know that I may not be able to do big things for you, but I can let
Hmm.
you know that I've got your back and that I'm thinking about you here.
And it's so important that you say that because I'm very, honest about my packages. The stuff that's in there, the snacks that's in there, to be honest, it might last you 2 days or 3 days. But if you're just looking at the snacks, you've basically missed the whole entire
Yeah.
point of what we're doing. What I want to do is just show you that you might be down the street from home, you might be hours away, a plane ride away. There are people out here that I don't care if you even know my name or remember me, but there are people out here that just want to support you, that just want to encourage you. We want to provide you a couple of snacks, a pen, a pencil, some paper, a button, a sticker, just whatever we could do to just kind of show you, hey, you have a whole support system out here. There are people that in the background, we are rooting for you to win. We are rooting for you to graduate and everything like that. So I love, this organization. I love what I'm doing, but it's like at the same time, it's like, we just want students to
Mhm.
know you have a support system outside of your family that's supporting you. You have strangers that are just wanting to make sure that you're okay and that you're doing good.
That is so excellent. And we have with us this evening Nina Wells. Nina, thank you so much for joining us. Other folks, that as you join in, please make sure that you join the conversation. We'd love to have a multiple conversation going on here, and please share it with other folks as you're watching this, because I'm sure you may get an idea of something to do, and plus just
Hmm.
getting the opportunity to hear Tiffannie's story and how this works out. So Tiffannie, tell me, how do you decide? First of all, how do you decide which campuses to visit? How does that?
So it's one of those things where, of course, we're based in Houston, Texas. So we're always every year we're going to go to PV and TSU. Probably we went to PV like 4 times last school year. TSU, I think we hit them like about 3 times. I mean, we're physically always on campus there because it's so close. But then at the same time, we had got this idea of, we want to travel and we want to reach more kids and we want to go to campuses, and that the whole idea behind that kind of came about because even though I have this organization that supports college students, I myself have never been to college a day in my life and everything. So at the same time, it's like, even though again, my whole organization is built around college students, you would think, oh, well, she went to somebody's school. And it's like, no, I didn't. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I like going to the campuses because it's at that time when I'm there, you can't tell me that I'm not a student. Oh, I'm a student that day. I come with my t-shirt on, I got my gear on, I'm ready. And it's like, we decide on which campuses to go to based on what's closer, what can we get to the fastest. And then of course, we say, okay, we're trying to at least go to my goal is to go to every campus, at least one time, and everything. So we kind of started with, HBCUs in Texas. And then we said, okay, well, Louisiana's just right there. It's just right there. And everybody know the food is good in New Orleans. So with that being said, it's like, okay, well, we can always just, go over next door and, pass out packages and eat while we're there. And then it's like, well, if you can go Louisiana, then, you can go a little bit further. And then if you can go there, you can go a little bit further. And so then it became, well, we can go anywhere. And especially like we've always wanted to go to Atlanta and, Howard. Those have been like the two big things we wanted to do. So recently, this past October or last October, we did Atlanta. So we did the Morehouse, the Spelman, the Clark. And after we accomplished that, we were like, you know what? We are unstoppable. You cannot stop us. We can go anywhere we want to go. What's next? And so we kind of went into that mindset. And so I was like, well, I kind of want to do the Florida thing. We can hit a couple of, HBCUs in Florida. They got a lot down there. So, let's go over there. Let's go over there. And everything. And then it's like, but every time I talk to people, they're always like, well, can you come to Howard? Can you come to Howard? And I'm sitting here like, okay, that's like a 22-hour drive. And people always like, well, just mail the stuff. You want me to mail all
Mm.
those, but do you know how much that's gonna cost? So, it's like you have to think about all the logistics that go with it. You just can't hop in your car and be like, oh yeah, we're going here. I mean, we want to, but we have to consider so many things. How much stuff is gonna fit in the car? Also, sometimes we have to even pull a trailer. Okay, well, if you're
Mm.
pulling a trailer, you can't go 80, and I'm not saying I go 80 and 90. I, that's not what I said. I'm just saying you can't go 80 and 90 if you pull in a trailer, like the trailer says 55. That's what the trailer say. So it's like, now that's slowing us down from getting to all these places. But if I don't pull the trailer and I take my car, well, I can fit about 200 packages in my car without a trailer, and I can do 89. I can go a little faster and everything. So we have to consider all of that information before we start picking what schools we want to go to. And then again, we do want to spread ourselves out and go to multiple campuses. So we kind of just, and I have a business partner who she has her own organization called Simply Helping Foundation, and I have my JCS project, and we're two people who have two organizations that do the same thing. I do snacks, she do school supplies and toiletries, but we just kind of found this great idea of, what if we did everything together?
Yeah.
And now students get two packages, and you have your name and I have my name, and you do what you want to do and I do what I want to do, but we just gonna do it at the same time. So that, so I don't always want to be the one picking the schools. So
Right.
I also say, well, okay, well, what school you want to go to? So so I mean, because again, we do a lot of things together. So I let her say, okay, I picked last year. So where you want to go this year? And then I accommodate her, and we go to the school she want to go to. And then I say, okay, well, can we put the Howard thing back on it's your turn. Oh, my bad. And so we just kind of go back and forth with the choosing of the schools. And again, keeping everything in mind on how much will fit. Are we taking the trailer? Are we not taking, so all of that, factors in. And then sometimes we get invited. Like students will message us and say, hey, can you come to my school? Can you come to my school? And we're like, yeah, what school you go to? Oh, I'm in South Carolina. That's 14 out. So but luckily, with that being said, I recently, we started doing some things where I tell kids, I never want to tell someone no. I never want to tell someone, well, your school is far.
Right.
I can't come. So what we've started doing is we started saying, well, hey, let's do partnerships, and we run those partnerships, different ways. And we do things like, let's say, okay, hey, you want 100 boxes? Okay, it cost me $10 to make a box. Let's fundraise together for your school. Once we raise $1,000, boom, we're good. I'll ship them to you, and you can pass them out yourself. How about that? I mean, unfortunately, I can't physically come, but you're still getting the boxes. I'll show you how we set up and everything like that,
Right.
and you can go for it. And so a lot of schools have been picking up on that. A lot of them are like, well, we don't want to do the fundraising part. We'll just pay for it. It's okay. Just mail us the boxes. And I'm like, hey, that's fine too. So we're in a situation where we never have to turn a school down. We never have to say we can't come to your school. We always work something out so that we can basically cover all the schools.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we have another guest, Chris. Thank you so much for joining in. I appreciate you joining in and being part of the conversation. So, Tiffany, you mentioned two schools in Texas and you gave their acronym. Could you tell people what the names of those two schools are? Because not everybody knows all the HBCUs.
Sure. And you know what? That is so true, because even myself, I still don't know all of them and everything. So TSU, that would be Texas Southern University. That's located right here in Houston, Texas, or to be exact, the third ward part of Houston, Texas, and everything. And then you have PVA, Prairie View A&M and everything. And so that's located just a little outside of Houston. We still try to
Okay.
claim them as Houston, but they're just about 45 minutes away and everything. So yeah.
And I just read recently that the president of Prairie View, Ruth Simmons, is going to retire. That's
Yes.
so sad because
Ye-
so I'm from Rhode Island. I just live here in North Carolina now.
mhm.
And Dr. Simmons used to be the president of Brown University, which is in Rhode Island. So then,
Oh.
yeah, so she was the first Black woman to be the president of an Ivy League college.
Oh, wow. And see,
Yes,
so I've been seeing so many posts about it and everything. And some people are sad, and some people are, they were like, oh, well, they bought her out of retirement. She was only going to come back and get everything up
yes,
and going. And then she was out of there. And it's like, but it just speaks so highly of her
yes,
that, to me, that's a lot of power right there. That
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 is.
that is a powerful woman, that you can come out of retirement,
Mhm.
take over this school, and in 5 years do what you need to do and say, you know what, and just give it on to the next person and say, hey, I did what y'all asked me to do, and I got the school where it needs to be. And
Right.
now I'm just gonna, nicely just go right on back into retirement, and I'm gonna hand the school off because guess what? It's in good hands. It's where
Yes.
it needs to be. She didn't leave the school in a mess, in a wreck.
No.
She left it, and it's like, wow, that just speaks so much volume about who she is, and her character, because she could have said, you know what, I couldn't do it. I tried, but this
Right.
school is a mess. I'm gonna get this stuff back to y'all. But no, she stayed, and she only did 5 years.
I know.
Five
I know.
years. I mean, golly, it's like I was sitting here like, say what? Like, goodness. I mean, I was just, I mean, I was kind of sad when I first heard it, and then I was like, I'm gonna turn that sad part into a positive and say, wow, that's amazing. That
Right.
is amazing what she has done.
Yeah. So tell me what, so you put snacks in and you said some hygiene things. So tell me what goes into the process of actually putting the boxes together, because that sounds simple. But when you're putting multiple boxes together of things, there are a lot of logistical things that have to happen.
Yeah, so I just happen to have one next to me. So
Yeah.
these are, let me see, these are the Louisiana boxes. I know it shows kind of blurry, but these are the Louisiana boxes. And as you can see, it's a box, 8 by 6 and everything, but it's a box. When we get these boxes from the company, they are flat. We do
Okay.
not get a folded box. We get flat boxes, and we get hundreds of them. So I know y'all have seen those Domino's commercial where the guy grabs the Domino's box and like in 2 seconds, it's a pizza box. And I'm not that fast yet. I have not I have not gotten that fast, but we physically have to first fold the boxes. And this is where sometimes we throw events, because a lot of high school students need volunteer hours. You have a lot of Greek organizations here in Houston. You have a lot of alumni associations here in Houston. And so we post events and say, hey, we're having this event. We're making this many boxes. Come on out and help us and everything. And then sometimes we just make them on our own and just say, you know what? Last minute, let's just knock it out. But I mean, we physically have to fold those boxes. We have snacks by the boatload from Sam's, and we actually have to like go down these like it's like an assembly line that we have to put together and make sure that each box gets a fruit snack, make sure each box gets a Kool-Aid jam or ramen noodles. I mean, you got to make sure every box is getting all of these items and everything. And so of course we're listening to music, we're having conversation, we're planning things and all of that. So it's a fun environment to be in, especially when we have volunteers. They give us suggestions and ideas and all of that, and we're like, okay, we'll put that to work. Let's see what we can do. And I mean, it's a fun process, but again, everything is empty until we put the products in it. And it can just be, especially with, it's about 8 different snacks that go in there like
Mhm.
that, and that's just the snacks. You still got to put the HBCU stickers and the buttons in. Don't let it be something like this Louisiana tour. Okay, Tiffany, you're going to 4 different schools in Louisiana. Don't
Mhm.
put the Grambling stickers in the Xavier box. Okay, okay, Tiffany, when you load everything up in the car, you need to label your stuff. Don't take the Xavier boxes to Dillard. They're gonna be a little upset about that. So it's like it's so much that that goes into making sure everything is labeled right, making sure everything is packaged right, making sure you have the right products in the right boxes. And but again, I mean, it can sound like, oh my gosh, but when I say it's so much fun, and I'm the kind of person when I'm making these boxes, like sometimes I have like gospel music playing, and it's like that's encouraging me, and I'm hoping that as I'm
Mhm.
touching the boxes, I'm encouraging the students that are going to get the boxes, those handwritten words of encouragement cards. We had what school was that? South Carolina State University. They ordered 400 boxes,
Wow.
and we hand wrote 400 words of encouragement cards. And after I wrote that 400, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm out of words. I don't have no more words. So we added an extra picture to the back because
Mhm.
I was like, I'm not writing any more words right now. I don't have any words. But though when we're making these boxes and we're touching these boxes and we're putting the things in it, like I make sure that I'm putting love in those boxes. When you get that box, I want you to open it and say, man, like whoever made this, one,
Mhm.
they made it directly for me. You can tell that this box was catered to my school. Everything in the side of this box has my school on it.
Mhm.
And you could just tell the love that came with this box. And I always want to make sure that I show that in the boxes, when I'm making them. And like I said, we do play, church music while we're making the boxes. And, after a while, the church music goes into R&B and then it goes somewhere else. And, we have a good, we have a good time because you got to keep your energy up, got to keep your energy up. And
Right.
so we have a good time, making these boxes. And like I said, when the students receive them, we just hope that all that we put into it, all of that, we hope that they feel that once they get the boxes. And another thing about the boxes that is very, 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 very important, I'm very particular about who goes on the cover of the boxes. And we
Okay.
always try to put someone who recently graduated from that school, because at the end of the day, we want you to graduate. So we always put someone that you should recognize on whether it's the queen of the school, the king of the school, SGA president. It's like, this person, him, and he just
Mhm.
recently graduated. And guess what? We want you to graduate. And guess what? We want you to send us your graduation pictures, because maybe the next year we'll have you on the cover of a box and everybody can look back and say, "Oh yeah, I remember her." Now she's on the cover of 100, 200, 300 care
Okay.
packages. But say also on the words of encouragement card, we always put a graduate on it's like we're always instilling graduate, graduate,
Right.
graduate, graduate. And then like I said, once you graduate, tag us in your pictures so that we can reach out to you and say, "Hey, those are some nice pictures, go ahead and send them on over here." And so the next time we go to that school, now we want to feature you inside or on the outside of the boxes as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. I just want to see if I can switch over here because I want people to see their website and you can see the boxes with the different pictures.
Yes. and
So we
and
have Grambling and Jackson State, Texas Southern, and Prairie View at the top.
Yes. And the students, when I say they love that, and what I really love about it is that when I go back to these schools, they show up. The graduates come to the schools too, especially the ones for TSU and PV. They're also ambassadors from our organization. So anytime I'm passing out their boxes that they're on the cover of, they come out to the school. And so as they're passing them out, the kids are like, "Wait, that's you? Is this you?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's me." They're like, "Wait, you're on the cover?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." They're like, "Oh, can you take a picture?" And I mean, it's just the awesome thing that that they come out with me and help me to pass out the boxes. Miss Gramlin. She does an excellent job of helping me promote anytime I'm going to Grambling. She always, "Hey y'all, she's coming back, she's coming back." And another thing that they do is they pass my information on to the next queen, the next king, the
Okay.
next. So that makes it easy for me to come to your school every year back to back, because you're telling the people who I need to get in contact with, you're letting them know, "Hey, this is Miss Tiffany. Just go ahead and call her because she's gonna be asking to come up here anyway. So just go ahead and get in touch with her and just make that a lot easier, that transition easier for her to get on the campus the next year and everything." So that works out perfectly.
That's fantastic, Tiffany. I'm just always amazed when people come up with an idea. Like I said earlier, like we all come up with ideas, but you executed the idea. You put it into action. So I notice here on your website, there's a place for donations. So for those
Yes.
of you out there that are listening or watching this on the replay or sharing this with your friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, whatever, if you're looking for an organization where you can support college students, especially college students at HBCUs, here's a way that you can donate. So, the URL is up there. I wanted to
Yes.
make sure you could see what the website looked like. So when you went to it, you knew you were at the right place.
Yes, and just to piggyback off of something you said in reference to having an ideal and executing it, I really have to say, like when I first started off, this organization was so faith-based because, as I mentioned, I never went to college. So because I never went to college, I didn't know what these kids needed. Like I didn't know like what to even put in the packages. And
Mhm.
they were able to help me and say, "Oh, Miss Tiffany, this is what we need. This is what we're looking for. We need this in our packages. We need that. We need snacks." And I always hear about snacks, snacks, snacks. The calf closed at 7. The calf closed at 8, and I didn't have any anything to eat. And or we I've heard situations where I was studying, but I stopped studying to go get something to eat. Grab that JCS box, grab a ramen noodle or something out of there. Don't stop studying. Grab a fruit snack or something. Stay studying, grab a snack, and keep going and everything like that. So it took a while to get us to where we are now, and to develop to be at this level, because again, I didn't know what was needed. But because we have so many students around us, and just students hearing about it, they have been so helpful to drop those notes and those hints about,
Yes.
okay, put this in there, put this in there. There have been times where the power has went out, and it's like, okay, well, if the power is out in the area, like, what are you going to do for food? Okay,
Mhm.
well, that's where this box comes into handy. And I've had situations where I'll tell you two situations. So my daughter is also in college and everything. When I first started out, we were not a HBCU organization, we were any student organization, and then
Mhm.
we switched over. And one of the reasons why we switched over is because I noticed that when it came to coming to wanting to give out packages at certain schools, it's like we had to jump through so many hoops. Or they would
Mhm.
tell us, no, you can't come here to give out packages because it's a conflict of interest, because we have an organization who sells packages. Okay, me giving out 100 packages is not going to hurt that company that's selling packages. And
Right.
we noticed that we would have to, what I like to call it, coming in through the back door. So the school won't let me in, so now I got to go find the deltas, I got to go find the AKAs on your campus and say, hey, can we come to your school? And it's like, I shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to call your school and say, hey, I want to come, give out some free college care packets, encourage some kids. And you should say, oh, that sounds awesome. Yes, we would love that. How many can you bring? Oh, 100? Sounds good. So we kind of transitioned to a HBCU organization, because I have never, ever, ever, ever called a HBCU and they told me no. They
Right.
always say, can you bring more than 100? So we kind of made that transition. But my daughter, she does not attend the HBCU. And one
Mhm.
thing about her school is, even before she went there, they've never told me no. Prior to her even going to the school, they were like, oh yeah, you can definitely come up here. But one time I had helped her move in, and I got her all set, and I think it was her second year. Got her all set, and I left her a nice little JCS box right above her desk. And she called me. She was like, Mom, you won't believe what happened. She says, I was so thirsty. I was in my dorm. I was thirsty. Nobody was here. It was nothing in the refrigerator to drink. And I'm in a situation where, even if I would have drunk my roommate's stuff, I don't even have a car to go replace it before she gets home. She says, but I was just so thirsty, and it was nothing. I mean, it was absolutely nothing. And everything was closed. And she said, I happened to look up and I saw that JCS box, and I was like, yeah, my mom left that. It's decoration, because she wants me to think about her organization, while I'm in school. But I know it's empty. And she says she just happened to put her hand on it, and she says, wait, it's something in here. She's like, okay, it's something in here, but it's not going to be anything to drink. Of course, that she says, Mom, it was two Capri Suns in there. She said, oh, I just love your organization. And I'm sitting here like, really? Really? She's like, Mom, I just love the JCS project. Even though you kicked me out of it because I don't attend a HBCU, I still just love your. And I mean, and I was sitting there like, that's what JCS for. One of the schools that told me I couldn't come, oh, you can't come because it's a conflict of interest. Well, their power went out. And one of their students posted
Mhm.
on social media that the power had been out for 3 days.
Wow.
Okay, well, the school is closed on the weekend. So I got in my car and I drove up there and I passed out packages. I mean, what are you going to do?
Right.
Y'all are
Right.
closed, and push come to shove, I'm gonna say, oh, this my son. I'm just up here. I'm just up here with my. I mean, but it's like, it shouldn't take all of that. But I mean, you have no power, and yet here it is. Guess what? I'm gonna come to your school and give the kids some snacks, because everything is closed, and everybody went to like the local Starbucks. So you got all these kids at Starbucks trying to use the Wi-Fi, trying to get their homework in.
Mhm.
It's just chaos. But it shouldn't even get to that level and everything. And it's like, that's why I love what I do. I love the fact that we put snacks in the packages, because again, that's the complaint I hear the most. Like, I was in my dorm. It's 10 o'clock at night. I got a little hungry. The calf is closed. I'm a freshman. I don't have a car to just go leave and go buy
Mhm.
something. I mean, you can DoorDash stuff, but have you seen those
I
DoorDash fees?
know. Yes.
I mean, you could have really bought two. or
Or
whatever
free.
you yeah, by the time you pay but I mean, what are kids to do? Now you're spending your money on DoorDash, but you didn't have any options. That I mean, that's all you had. And so, and I always tell kids, I mean, it kind of puts a smile on my face, but when a kid leaves the table and they get their box and they're open it and they're all excited and they're smiling and they're looking through it, I always go like, oh, and then next thing you know, they start eating stuff, and I'd be like, don't do that. Don't. Mm-mm. This a rainy day box. Don't use this box later. And it's like it makes me smile to see that they enjoyed the box so much
Right.
that they were ready to just tear into the snacks. But at the same time, I have to kind of tell them, not yet. Wait, trust me on this. There's gonna come a day. There is gonna come a day when you're gonna need
Yeah.
this. Put it somewhere and just wait on that day. And then some kids they just be like, oh no, I'm good. I was hungry. Now I was hungry when I walked over here. And then we had mentioned we have a partnership with Whataburger, and it just gives me such pride because Whataburger is really big in Texas, and
Mhm.
they're also in Florida as well. Whataburger has spread out to some other states, and it just they're also in Mississippi. But it just really prides, I'm just very prideful of the fact that Whataburger, this huge national restaurant, would let me have the time to tell them what I do, and then say, well, we're going to give you free meal vouchers because you're feeding kids with your snacks, but we're going to help you feed kids. And push come to shove, they can at least go to Whataburger and
Right.
also get a meal from us free of. And our meal vouchers, it doesn't say with the purchase of. It don't say that. It says you get a free Whataburger. It don't say you have to purchase a large fry and a drink. It don't say that. It just say walk in here and give this coupon. And then they also say, well, you know what? We're gonna give kids a lanyard. We're gonna give them a keychain. Just to have some other stuff that college kids have. And then Chase Bank comes in and say, oh, okay, well, Whataburger, that's nice that y'all doing that. Well, we want to help out too. So we're gonna give them a notepad. We're gonna give them an ink pen because they need to take notes. And it's like everything just comes together for us to pour into college students, and
Right.
I absolutely love it.
That is so fantastic because you think about, college students again, not everybody is going to college with the kind of financial backing where, yeah, I can just run down here and grab something to eat, or I
Yes.
can DoorDash, or I can do what have you. I mean, back in the day when I was in college, man, I would have loved to have purchased boxes someday because there were days where like scrounging around looking for something to eat.
Yes.
Um, but what I also like are is the sentiment behind it, that this is just another way of letting students know that somebody is rooting for them, that somebody
Yes.
is their champion, somebody is in their corner. That is so important because especially for first generation students, um, it's a whole new experience. And
Yes.
knowing and things get tough. I mean, high college is not high school, and the transition from high school to college can be really tough. And when you're the first person in your family going to college, sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
That is so true. My daughter is a first year, college student. Like, I've been at my same job for 22 years. So I never did the college thing, went straight from high school to the same job that I've been at this whole time. And so she was first generation. And, I was like, okay, this is how we're gonna do this. I'm going to cover you going to school. Okay. I'm going to pay for everything out of pocket. You will not have student loans because you're going to graduate and you're going to
Right.
be a homeowner before you're 25. That is the plan. Stay with me here. Let's go. Like let's, and it was just a huge shock for her. Like things were so different, like she's not used to, okay, you might want to check your email before you show up for that class because it might be canceled. So she was one of those, Mom, I got up and I got dressed and I walked way over there and it was canceled. And I'm laughing because this is funny to me because I've heard it from other students. And
Right.
she's like, well, I mean, you want me to check my email every day? You might want to
Yeah.
do that. But that's not, you're not taught that in high school. In high school,
Mm.
you go to school, like there's no such thing as the teacher's not there, so the class was canceled. Like it
Right.
don't work like they got a substitute. So it doesn't work like that. So, a lot of things were different for her. And, she just had to learn once she got in there. And even with, me paying for school, I was very clear. Like you're gonna have the typical college life. I'm paying for school. Okay. School dorm, and here's your food, and this is your they got these little meal plan things, and your little books and whatever that is. If
Yeah.
you want to run through all of that in a week, you want to feed you and your friends, and hey, guess what? I don't even mind. It don't have anything to do with me because I paid for this to for this amount of time. You have to figure that thing out.
Right.
She received scholarships and all that kind of stuff. Some scholarships were sent to the school, and some of the money was sent to her. Okay, let me explain to you. I've paid for school. Whatever was left, I've paid for that already. I've paid for books and
Mhm.
everything. Whatever scholarship money you have left, this is your money to last you this year. Okay?
Yeah.
If you decide to go online and go shopping and have a shopping spree, guess what? I'm happy for you. Call me and show me all the outfits. I would love to see them. But let me tell you what you're not going to do. You're not going to call this number and ask me for any money. You can call any other number you want to, but this number right here, uh, we don't have money at this number. And I mean, and I just laid it all down to her and
Mhm.
just said, hey, I'm willing to, you need to stay with me on this plan. I'm willing to pay for you to go to school. I don't want you to have any debt. I want you to graduate debt free. And I
Right.
want you to be, I'm in real estate. So it's like, and I want you to be a homeowner before you're 25 if you can. I'll do 25, but can we do it before? Like, goodness gracious, and pay the house off in 20 years. I mean, come on, girl, work with me. So she knows I have a plan, I have goals for what I want her to do. But
Right.
like I said, things got hard for her. Her first year, it wasn't a good year. She started off strong, and then it just kind of, you
Yeah.
know and I was over here like, oh, okay, I can't be too tough on her because I ain't never been through this before. But at the same time, this is my money. This is my coins. So all right, we're gonna go for round two. Okay, now, and I told her, I've been to the circus. I've seen the show. I've rode the rides. Okay. Second year, if you can't get this down packed, I'm not saying you can't go. I never said you can't go. You just can't go on my money because my 22 years of putting money in my 401k, I could retire at the age of 41. Like I, I can, I can't, but I can. They're gonna take a
Mhm.
big chunk out of it, but I could be like, hey, I'm gonna retire. But no, I've been saving up all this money because I have children, and y'all are gonna want to go to school, and school costs. Everybody's not gonna get a full ride. So
Mhm.
okay, we have other options. Just in case if somebody over here doesn't get that full ride or athletic scholarship, academic scholarship, it's okay. We got
Yes.
another plan. But at the same time, we're just not gonna just blow through money
Mhm.
and waste money. So you better get it together this year. Okay. Your first year, I hope you lived it up. I hope you had a great time. I hope you did. But this next year, oh, girl, you got to get it together, or I don't know how you gonna have loans, and I don't know what you're gonna do. So, her next year she was like, "All right, I got it." And so now we on track. Now we're doing something. We're making it work because she's starting to see. She's starting to
Mhm.
see the plan, and she's starting to see, where we're going and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, okay, if you do these things right, you'll be a homeowner in a couple of years. You'll have
Yes.
your own house. Let's go. And it's like, and I share this because, as a parent, you might want to, start teaching your kids that too. Like, hey, I'm making the sacrifices. I'm busting my butt. I'm doing this, I'm doing that to make sure you have this, because guess what? I want your kids to have better than what you had and everything. So,
Yes.
and again, if kids don't know, they don't know. And I try to make sure that I tell her that. I try to make sure anytime I have a chance to talk to any college kid, I try to tell them, hey, listen to your parents. They're doing things for you that you might not see, you might not understand, but they're
Mhm.
trying to put you in position to have certain things and everything. So hopefully she's listening now. She better be listening.
Yeah. And we have one of our audience members, Deborah. Deborah, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. Deborah's saying that she really loves this story, and she's talking about, her granddaughter joined the track team today. She talked about how she ran track, her granddad ran track, and her mother ran track, but she didn't want to, but now she's doing it. So she's hoping that track is in her blood, and who knows, that may lead to, a partial scholarship
Scholarship,
or something.
yes.
So having students listen and pay attention. For those of you that are just joining us, we're here with Tiffannie Jones. Tiffannie is the founder and the brains behind the JCS project, Just College Students, where they provide these wonderful care packages for students at HBCUs because they just want the students to know that somebody out there cares about them, somebody has their back, and they understand that the goal is to get in college, stay in college, and graduate from college. So this is
Yes.
all done as a means of encouragement. So Tiffannie, we've got 10 HBCUs in North Carolina.
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny you say that because, so like I was saying, I never been to college, and you know, um, North Carolina A&T is on my list. I was like, oh
Okay.
my gosh, I want to go there so bad, but I gotta go. And it's so funny because another thing when we schedule these tours,
Hmm.
I'm such a kid. I always look at the football season and the schedule. I be like, who they playing? Okay, I want to go. Okay, can I pass out packages on this day and catch the game the next day? Well, what they got going on? Because like we try to catch other
Hmm.
events while we're there. And like I say, you would think I'm one of the students because I just have the best time on campus. But yes, I would make that drive. I would love to come up there, and I keep hearing about the band. I've seen
Yeah.
videos of the band, and like people don't know this, but I absolutely love drum majors. Like I don't know what it is about them, and like I've been learning so much, over the last couple of years. So one thing is I did not know that the drum major knows how to play several instruments. I thought
Mm.
the drum major was just a drum. I thought you just get to be a drum major. I didn't realize, no, girl, they have to play an instrument as
Mhm.
well. I'm over here
Yes.
like, I thought that was a position, just a drum major and everything. So I've learned so much about it, but I love drum majors, and North Carolina has like some awesome
Yes,
drum
we
majors.
do.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen videos, but I need to be there. I need to see this in person. Like I want to be a part of this thing. And like one of my like you know how they always saying create bucket lists. So I have a
Right.
personal bucket list and I have a JCS bucket list. And one of the things on my JCS bucket list is I want to be on the field and I want to lead an HBCU band out on the field. But I don't want to look out of place. Like I need to work with somebody, get me together. And I'm just gonna walk out there, lead them out. And I'm gonna just go into my seat because that's about all I can do. And stuff. But that is definitely one of the things I would love to do. We can definitely talk about making that happen because that would be awesome. And y'all have a lot of
We do. We have 10
HBCUs.
HBCUs, and if you make it to North Carolina, I'll definitely have to make sure I hook up with you. We have a I'm in
Yes.
I'm in Fayetteville, and we have a HBCU
Ye-
here in Fayetteville, Fayetteville State
yes.
University.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
Y'all
mean,
sure do.
we've got a few. I think we actually have more HBCUs than any other state.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know for sure y'all have, because y'all even have what is that? North Carolina Central.
Yep. So we have North Carolina A&T, North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Central, Fayetteville State, Elizabeth City State University,
Oh
Shaw
yeah.
University, St. Augustine University. Oh Lord, what am I missing? I'm missing some. Oh, Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte. Okay, I'm
Now that
missing a
Johnson C.
couple.
Smith, let me tell you why they're on my list. They're on my list all because of their initials, JCS.
Yes.
That
Yes.
while I was sitting like once because again I still don't know all the HBCUs. Like I just found out that, and I could be pronouncing it wrong. Is it pronounced Meharry Medical College? Like I didn't
Yes.
realize that they were like like the only HBCU graduate program. I was over here like,
Medical school.
oh
Yeah.
wait. Like I just found out about them last year, and now I'm like, okay, yeah, like let me send some stuff over there because I didn't. And I have a student that I met at Xavier that now goes there, and I'm
Okay.
like following him, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna send you some boxes and just pass them out for me. I can't make it over there,
Okay.
but just pass them out. And he's like, yeah, I would love to do that, but yeah, there are. Oh, y'all have a lot. Y'all have a lot.
So here's a great site. It's called the 107, and it lists the HBCUs alphabetically and then by state.
Oh wow.
So this is a great place to go if you want to find out about all the different HBCUs in different states. Um,
Yes, this
uh,
is awesome. This and
yeah.
there's a company called Support Black Colleges, and I
Hmm.
buy a lot of stuff from them. And I love the fact on the back of their T-shirts they have all the colleges listed. And as
Okay.
I was reading the names, I'm like, man, there's so many that I just
Yeah.
either I have never heard of or I
Hmm.
just don't know about. And I'm trying to I try to get myself up to date at least to where I at least know your logo, like your school mascot logo and the
Right.
colors. I at least try to know that much because when I'm making packages, just recently there was an event in Austin, Texas, called HBCU Battle of the Brains, and it was where different they had about 30 different HBCUs to come out and compete for like different scholarships, and there are different companies there, Dell Computers, Amazon. It was sponsored by the NFL. I mean, like all these huge companies are there, and it's like a pitch competition. So they give everybody this pitch, and you have to, like, take go with your team and come back and do this pitch. And I want to say Fisk ended up winning, and they won like $50,000. I was like, golly. And so I ended up being able to, it was like a last minute thing. I didn't know about the event to the last minute, and I was like, hey, I want to get involved. I just found out about this event. I know y'all have like 200 kids down there. I don't have 200 boxes on hand, but can I at least donate one box to represent every team, and yeah, maybe give it to the team captain, just figure this thing out. And so they were
Right.
like, yeah, we would love that. We would love that. I was like, next year, I'll have a box for everybody. We'll work on it next year. And so as I was making these, I had to make 30 boxes, one for each team. There were so many HBCUs that I didn't know off the top. Like I was like, I'm gonna have to Google this one because I don't even know their school colors, because each box, we put an HBCU button in the box, but it's catered to your colors. And I mean, I was like, I have so much learning to do because it looks like I'm a little behind. And like you were just mentioning, what is it? Is it Saint Philip or Saint August?
St. Augustine.
Saint, like Saint. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't tell you what the colors were, and it's like Tiffany, come on, you gotta. Come on, girl, you gotta do it. You gotta do it and stuff. And it's like it's just. But at the same time, I kind of, it's not a bad thing that I don't know. It just shows me I have more to learn, as
Yeah.
well as, Tiffany, hey, you need to get out there some more and start visiting more schools and everything like that. And just it always pushes me. I always can spin it into a positive and say, okay,
Right.
this is a good way to reach out to more HBCUs. Hey, raise some more money, get more people involved about what you're doing, raise more funds, and say, hey, I might can't come to your school, but can I just ship you this 50 and you pass it out on my behalf and thank you. So that I always kind of spin it like that and kind of help myself to say, learn more, find out more about more HBCUs.
Yeah. And with that being said, I just want to remind people of Tiffany's website of the JCS project and this little section here where you can send in your donations to help Tiffany keep this going and to send out all that support and love to all of the HBCU students that her company comes in contact with. So again, folks, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to give back in a way that it's going to go to students in a way that's going to help them. So
Yes.
definitely, definitely, definitely think about that. So Tiffany, in our earlier conversation, so I always ask people if there's a book or something that they would recommend for students, and you had a recommendation for people.
Yes. Yes. So the author of the book, the Transition Guide and Journal. What I love about it is the journal part because it is a journal. And what the book is about, it talks about transitioning from high school to college. But what he does, it's an interactive book where he wants you to write stuff in there. His name is Blake. He's on Instagram as Blake Motivates. He actually
Oh,
graduated
yeah.
from PV, and I've just had a chance to work with him ever since JCS started. I've been able to work with him. When we go out on tours, we give out his book for free. Like we'll put the book on the table and just wait. We'll just wait till somebody says, well, what's the book? Well, whoever says what's the book, guess what? You can have this book. And I mean, even if you're already in college, it still covers a lot of stuff, that college kids need to know as well. But it's an awesome book. I read it a long time ago. I probably need to do a refresher and read it again and everything, especially now that I have my son is 15, he'll be going off to college. So I probably need to start working the journal with him as well. But it's one of those things where it asks you questions like, what's your top five? Okay, what's your GPA? I mean, it's making sure that you know all of these things. And also, like, when he comes out to events with me, he always walks through the crowd and asks them random questions, about their, like, okay, what do you want to major in? Okay, what's your major? Okay, how much does it cost for you to go to school and major in that? So do you know the cost of school? Do you know what you're looking for? I mean, it's and he has areas in the book to write all of that information down and kind of compare, okay, this school my major cost this much, this school my major. I mean, again, it's so interactive. And I love the fact that you can journal all of this information that you're going to need to know and keep up with and, hold all that information all in one place in that journal. So I absolutely love the idea that he has this book. And there have been times that he has autographed copies for me to pass out to students. And he actually does, I don't know if you've ever heard of, it's called the Black College Expo, and they
Mhm.
have their expo like everywhere. And Blake, even though he's from Houston, he travels just like I travel. He travels around to those different expos, talking to parents, talking to students, selling those books and giving out those books. He always donates books to JCS so that we can get the word out about that book. And I mean, it's just awesome, awesome tool to have as a parent and as a student.
That is fantastic. I actually think I follow him on LinkedIn.
That's-
You said that, I said, "I know this guy. How do I know him?" But I
yes.
think I think I'm pretty sure I follow him on LinkedIn. I love it that, that you've been able to partner with him and been able to do this. What I would love to do now, let me see if I can get to this right. So one of the things for people who have been listening in, who have been paying attention, I'd like to do a little giveaway, a copy of this book.
Oh,
So
wow.
so
Awesome.
here's how it works. So you see in here, hashtag HBCU. So if you put in the comment section, hashtag HBCU, you will be entered into the drawing for a copy of this book. And if you don't need the copy, you certainly know some young person who can use the book.
Yes.
You can donate
Yes.
it to one of your local high schools. You can donate it to your local library. But for folks that are listening in, if you do hashtag HBCU in the comments, you will be entered into the drawing for this. So, Tiffany, if you had the opportunity to talk to parents about what advice you would give to them about their child entering college or beginning college or preparing for college, what would you tell them?
It's so funny. Me and my mom were just talking about this today.
Mhm.
And I was telling her, like, my mindset for college and a lot of some other people's mindset are like totally different. My parents raised us that they would pay for college. That's the way it's
Mhm.
always been. Hey, if you go to college, we're gonna pay for it. So I grew up like, okay, well, if my children go to college, I'm gonna pay for it. And that to me that was a whole one of the whole points of my 401k. Like, oh, okay, just put the money over here. When they get ready to go to college, just take it out and go boom and everything. And so, like, as a parent, one, I would say make sure you have a backup plan for how you're going to pay for your child to go to school. There are scholarships out there. Some kids get a full ride. Sometimes the full ride is a full ride, and sometimes it's just tuition, but you still have to do dorm and books and labs and all that kind of stuff. So, just make sure you have a backup plan for how college is going to be paid for, because everybody doesn't go for free. If
Right.
that was the case, college wouldn't cost if everybody was going to go for free. So to me, it's just very important, to have a, like, I told my daughter, like, I don't care what she worried about. Don't worry about paying for school. Like, that's the least of your worries. And I don't know why she decided to go off and join the club volleyball. And it's like, nobody told you to do that. Now hold on. Now I said I was paying for school, but I ended up paying and paying for that too. But it's like, just as a parent, just make sure that your child knows, or sit down and talk to the child and say, hey, we don't have the funds to pay for you to go to college. Be honest about it. And that just means, let's start applying for every scholarship we can get our hands on. Like, we need to apply for scholarship after scholarship after scholarship, because there is money out there. There is money out there. My business partner, she did a scholarship for the first time, and she just got so discouraged because she was approaching her deadline and no one had applied, and she was
Oh,
giving out like $1,000, like, for each essay. And I think she ended up giving out a total of $6,000. And it was like 3 days before the deadline, before the applications come
mm.
in. And I was like, see, girl, you was worried about nothing. But she was just so worried. But I mean, I have seen situations where people offer a scholarship and nobody applies. Or the money, only one person applies, so all the money went to the only person that submitted an application. So there is money out there, but you have to be realistic. Everybody is not going to get the money. So
Right.
it's like, if some I mean, and again, there are a lot of companies that give out $50,000 scholarships, 25, 10,000. There are. But again, everybody's not going to get a full ride. So you have to have a backup plan for how you're going to pay for college. And it's just awesome to be upfront with your child so that nobody is blindsided and everything like that. And
Mhm.
just work hard. We used to have what was called scholarship Sundays. Oh boy. Every Sunday you had to be applying for a scholarship. It's not to say that you're going to get it, but guess what? You were going to
Right.
be applying for scholarships on Sunday. Like, and also we had a binder. Okay, here's the binder. Pick one out based on, they were in order by deadline. Go through the
Mhm.
binder, pick one. Make sure you meet the criteria. Don't fill out a scholarship if you don't meet the criteria. That's just a waste of time. But
Mhm.
look at the criteria, see if you meet it. Okay, boom. Now go apply for this scholarship and everything. So we would have that every Sunday, every Sunday, every Sunday. You need to be, how many did you apply for? Oh, only one. Why you didn't do two? Oh, you have friends. Oh, what scholarship did they apply? Oh, you have a boyfriend. Oh, you do? Well, what scholarship did he apply for? So it was one of those things. Anybody who was going to be around me, you were going to be either applying for scholarships. Don't let me have boxes to make. Oh, you were a volunteer that day. It's like, oh yeah, come on. You got a boyfriend? Yeah, bring him over. Yeah, he come over. Yeah, he sure can. Now help me make these packages. So like things like that, like help your kids apply for these scholarships,
Mhm.
and read the essays to make sure that the essays align with the question that they're asking, because there is money out there, and it's money I've seen a lot of kids go to college for free based off of scholarships, but it's just not going to happen for everybody. But
Right.
yeah, go out there and get that scholarship money. My daughter received lots of scholarships and everything like that. And I was happy that she did receive them. I was like, okay, apply this to the school, and whatever
Mhm.
she has left, hey, girl, make it work. But I would definitely tell parents, have a backup plan for how it's going to get paid for.
Okay, that is so important. That is so, so important. There's nothing worse than a student starting off in school and the money runs out, so we don't want that to happen. So in our last few minutes, anybody that's on hashtag HBCU and you are in the drawing for the transition guide and journal by Blake Motivates. Well, that's his stage name.
Yes.
Uh, so last chance to get your information in there. Hashtag HBCU. We may just have one winner, one entry out there, but I'm gonna spin the wheel anyway. So let me see if it'll even let me draw. No, it may not let me draw unless I have more than one entry. But if not, We know who's
We
winning.
must say, yeah,
We
we
know
know who
who's
won.
winning. Okay. So so I am going to close it because I don't see any more entries out there. Now remember, this is a book that if you can't use it, you can always find a young person out there that can use it. So Deborah Franklin, you are the winner.
Congrats, congrats.
Yay! And I will make sure you get this book. And again, share it with anybody that you think may be able to use it. Tiffannie, I can't thank you enough. Your energy is off the charts.
Well, thank you. Thank you,
I
thank you,
love
thank
your
you.
energy. I love your energy. And I can't wait until you get to North Carolina.
I know. I'm over here in the back of my mind, like, okay, let me see. So if I do this and I do, it's like I'm already over here thinking and everything. So yeah, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome.
Yes, yes. And I'll be here helping you pack boxes.
Yes, yeah, you'll definitely have to come out there with me to pass them out because when those students, I swear, like so many people always say, can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? And when they see the students come get the box and the reactions that the students have when they open them, like that part right there that's the best part. That's the priceless moment, that you say, whew, all that hard work. It was worth this moment right here when that student gets that box.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh my God, Tiffannie, thank you so much. This has been a fantastic conversation. Again,
Yeah.
it's like, sitting around the kitchen table with your girlfriends.
Yes.
So I really appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. I thank you so much for just giving of your heart and being that servant leader out there doing things for kids because we need it. Our kids
Yes.
need it. Our kids need to know that somebody out there is really thinking about them. Deborah, you're so welcome. Deborah's telling us thank you. It's nice to have. Yes, she's talking about your energy.
My
Yes, yes,
energy.
yes. If I could just have this much of Tiffany's energy, going all day long like the Energizer
Yes.
Bunny. So
Yes.
folks that are out there, I will see you next Monday. It may be me, may have a guest. It all depends, but I always have something to share with you because our goal is to make sure that our students get in college, stay in college, and graduate from college. That's what we're all about. So, folks that tuned in today, thank you. Those of you that are watching this on the replay, you still can go to Tiffannie's website anytime you want to and make that donation and help
Yes.
her make this work for all these students that are out there. So again, folks, thank you. We will see you next Monday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time now because we had to change the clock. Tiffannie, hang on a minute. So folks,
Yes.
again, see you next Monday. Take care, everyone.